Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Get Off the Damn Fence. I'm your host, Larry Caution, joined as I am each and every week by co-hosts Calvin Thomas, Justin B. the Barber Harris. Gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight?
Great.
I thought you had something provocative to say. I was letting you.
I'm going to change my intro one of these days and just steamroll y'all. Like, these are these two Negroes, and here's the show. Let's move it on. But anyway, we thank you all for tuning in tonight on a Thursday night. You know, we be bouncing between Wednesday and Thursday. But before we get too deep into the show, we want to definitely send a happy anniversary shout out to the Thomases, Calvin and his lovely wife Andrea, celebrating. Oh yeah, the blue glasses.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
I don't have any pay. I don't know where mine at.
I got a pair in there on the dresser, man. 4 years. I still got that blue vest. I only wore it the one time. But anyway, happy 4 years.
At least it wasn't a custom suit.
Yeah. You know that's always going to happen. You know, if just you probably get a second wear out of your wedding outfit. That was a nice little casual vet. You know, it was nice.
Oh boy, 90% of that went back already.
But anyway,
it's already gone, baby.
You kept memories,
baby.
You kept suspenders.
I feel you. But happy anniversary, Calvin. You want to give a special shout out to your wife?
Yeah, shout out to the missus for dealing with me for 4 years. 4 years and counting. So, marriage is a beautiful thing. Love is love. Love is life. So I definitely appreciate her and love her. So. I really forgot about the glasses. I don't know where mine are. I gotta go find them now.
I got mine in the room. I'm gonna grab them.
My son got a pair, but he don't like to share. So,
but if you're watching tonight, please subscribe, like, share. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Make sure you like. If you're on Facebook, share the live. Make sure you pass the name along. A lot going on. We got a lot to cover tonight. I mean, huge weekend. UFC. Conor McGregor returns this Saturday night. I have mixed feelings about this one, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is the biggest event probably this summer for us when it comes to UFC, even bigger than the White House show. And we'll touch on that a little bit later. But we got some big news. We're going to continue our NBA best top 5 tournament. That's going to continue tonight. And Justin took care of a couple simulations for us. We'll go over that. We'll also give our final, first round picks for all the brackets. Because next week we're going to start round 2. We'll go through everything tonight, giving our final etch in stone, write it on the paper. And next week we'll have the fresh second round brackets with the two teams, and the Lakers and the Celtics had a bye in the first round. We'll go over all of that later on. But we got to start tonight with the NBA. Another interesting week of off-season basketball talk. And I found it very interesting. I think it was last Friday, like a day after we recorded. Rich Paul came out with a whiteboard on his podcast, him and Max Kellerman. If you haven't been checking it out, Rich Paul and Max have a pretty good podcast. It's not bad. It's interesting that they would Rich would have a podcast where he talks about his active clients in the league, and LeBron James actually drops knowledge. And I saw Doc Rivers, so Austin Rivers commented on it saying Rich Paul shouldn't even have a podcast. He an agent. He out there giving inside information out there, spiking the waters and stuff like that. Why is he out there talking about things? But at the end of the day, as a consumer of content, I ain't mad at you. Go on out there and tell us what was going on. We like the little scoop. I know people, you used to getting from Woj or Shams or, all these guys like that, but if Rich Paul want to go on his platform and get more clicks by actually dropping real information, and it makes it a must listen or a must watch, where if you really want to know what's going on, he got a lot of clients with Clutch right now. If you really want to know what's going on, why not hear it straight from the horse's mouth? But he did drop a whiteboard, and he broke down all the places that LeBron might possibly go next season. I thought this was very interesting. And you could do a whole show on this, just breaking down all the scenarios, all the interweb, all the connections, and one of the things he also said on the podcast is that if had the Knicks not won the championship, LeBron would be a Knick right now. That's what he said. He said if the Knicks hadn't won, LeBron would be in New York next season. If you see at the bottom right of the whiteboard, you see NYK, no other explanation, just underline. But I think that pretty much them winning that title knocks them out of contention. Let's start right there since they are the champions. Justin, I'll start with you as the resident Knicks fan. Do you think LeBron James coming to the Knicks would have been a big deal? And do you think his rationale for not going there makes complete sense?
There we go. I started to think about this. At first I said, no, we don't need him. But as I started to hear the terms mid-level veterans minimum, that type of money conversation, I said, well, yeah, I guess Josh Hart don't mind sitting for him, Mikal Bridges. But at the end of the day, you're asking a starter to give up their rotation for LeBron James, and I just think he's too much of an entity. He's a corporation. So not only do you deal with that, you have to deal with his retirement tour. Not only do you have to deal with his retirement tour, you got to deal with, just him running the show as much as, you would think is JB. Nah, JB's a scorer. So, it will be LeBron, playmaking and things like that. It's just, he is a system. And I don't even know if Mike Brown want him back, to be 100% honest with you. Like, he dealt with that. What I'm saying? And coaching and things like that. There's a reason why LeBron never had a coach for an extended period of time. Like, James Harden said it, but I think LeBron says the exact same thing. He is the system. So you gear your game plan around me. Now, did I see him play well in LA? Yes. But, it's Luka, right? I get that, right? He was willing to take the side seat to Luka and at times the AR, but I don't know. So to answer your question, maybe, but on a low level, like possibly, but on the likely level, even if we lost, we won't be worried about LeBron James. That won't be the reason. We'll be talking to Giannis and kicking that tire and see what's going on with that. So we would have been right back in that mix versus, oh yeah, LeBron's coming to town. So there's that.
Calvin, you have any thoughts on the Knicks and rationale behind that?
The Knicks thing, this is just my opinion. I think somebody would have been gone. I think it would have been Bridges. That's the way to get off his contract because you have that that space open up for LeBron. Also, I think it's interesting. I think this board was done before the end of the season, and I think it's just been edited so far with like the Brown, the Philly, and things like that. So I think like New York was on there, and then maybe as soon as they win a title, they get moved to the side. So I think this was this has been ongoing for like the last month or so since they got knocked out of the playoffs. So I do think that. So that lets you know that relationship with the Lakers has been done for longer than you think as well, which is something that hasn't come out. And I think if he does not go to Cleveland, this is not his last year. I think the last year is always going to be in Cleveland. But if it's not next year, then it'll be the year after. I think he has at max 2 years left. The last year will be in Cleveland. But this is the last year to try to win a title. I think then the last year in Cleveland is the documentary, is the last season, is going home, it's all that stuff. So I think
I asked you about the New York Knicks, and you jumped in the gun.
Yeah, I was going. All right, I had my Knick point, and I went off.
Golly, boy. Hey,
I had material. I was about to say, like, I was about to say objection. Like, what was happening with the conversation? I said my Knick piece.
We going all over the place. Let's go to the Denver Nuggets next on the list. We're going clockwise. You got Murray, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, Jokic, and then off to the right, Kroenke is the owner of the Denver Nuggets, and he is actually, really good friends with LeBron James. So I think that's why a lot of people that link there. He owns the Rams in LA. Yeah. They are a good fit. I think LeBron could fit in with that lineup, man. I know I said this last week.
Let's take a too.
To give Justin an update on make sure you get your appointment book out. Get your appointment book out and take that. Make sure you get a screenshot. Make sure, because I don't want no smoke.
He did send me something hours ago. I apologize. I'm doing it right now, sir.
Hey man, business first. But what do y'all think? Denver, you got Murray, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, put LeBron at the 4, and Jokic at the 5. What are we talking here? Because I think Aaron Gordon, he can play 4. LeBron can play 3. But I think LeBron might fit better at the 4. Calvin, what's your thoughts?
That's a terrible defensive lineup. They're gonna give up a bunch of points, in my opinion. I think, and then we talk about like the Murray trade as well. I think that's the way to boost the lineup if we do that trade with Orlando. But that team offensively is great, but defensively, turnstiles everywhere. Like nobody defends on that team anymore. I don't like the fit.
Scale of 1 to 10 of it happened.
I think it's a 2. I think this is the last option of the options listed.
Justin, your thoughts?
Like I said, I stay behind this 100%. Pause. I believe that they need a scorer first and foremost. They don't need another playmaker. I think they can pass the ball enough. I think Jokic can run the offense enough. He's one of the best ones to ever do it in history. And the old guy that should be there is Kevin Durant and not LeBron James. I can see Kevin Durant seamlessly into this offense versus having to have two elite level playmakers. I'm not going to lie. LeBron and Jokic will be elite level playmakers, but I think Jokic just looking for someone to put the ball in the hole, and LeBron he can't do that as much these days.
Okay. All right, let's keep moving. Bottom of the screen. Anthony Edwards, Melo. So this, again, I know you say you think this board was created before, but a lot of these recent moves are included. So I think this was just laid out there recently, in my opinion. So Melo is out there now in Minnesota. McDaniels who's playing the 4, and Rudy Gobert at the 5. You slide LeBron in at the what? The 3, power forward. Where do you put him? How does he like to fit? Does he adjust in there? Do they have enough of everything you need? Justin, scale of 1 to 10, what you like to think about LeBron in Minnesota?
I'm not mad at this. I'll say that. But he is not. LeBron James, a 40-plus-year-old LeBron James is not, and I repeat, is not dealing with whatever Melo Ball is bringing to this court. He is not dealing with. He's too old to deal with it. No.
Really?
Any antics that Melo might have, in which he needs to now go through a maturing session in his own right, because he's going from the place that drafted him. Clearly, when you draft people, you kind of deal with all the nonsense. Pelicans and Zion, the Grizzlies with Morant. I'm going to deal with you until I can replace you. Now you have to grow up. So he has to go through a period of maturing, whereas though, either you're going to be a journeyman or you're going to make this your second home, maybe get a good contract and get traded somewhere else. But when are you going to start making a playoff push and put that next to your name versus everything else? So he has to eliminate that. And LeBron James does not have time for that more so than anything else. He's too old to be dealing with someone that needs to mature. He don't deal with rookies and stuff of that nature because that is a discipline thing versus, you're making mistakes because you're new and you're a rookie type of a deal. So, no, he's not dealing with that whatsoever. So, I don't see what's happening.
I didn't see that coming, but okay.
Yeah.
Calvin?
I mean, Ant and Melo have 2 of the top, I think 3 or 4 usage rates last year. I don't see the ball moving like that. LeBron's not going to stand around and wait for his turn. So, no, I don't like the fit. I like the fit, but Melo would have to change his game. And he's in year 5 or 6, and this would be a first time making the playoffs. I don't think he'll be eager to change his game. So no.
I think this team, the way it was constructed last year, add LeBron to that team with those bigger guys. LeBron doesn't have to go down there and be relied upon to play the defense. The way they were defensively last year, athleticism, because we haven't even, what's his name, Osawa, whatever his name is.
Ayo Dosunmu.
Whatever. Put him in there. I like that team better with LeBron than this team. So no, I'm very low, probably a 1. This is the team I'm the lowest on, the Minnesota Timberwolves, not the Nuggets. I'm a little high about them. Next, this one, a lot of people have been chirping about this. I think, Justin, this was your pick. Mitchell, Wiggins, Giannis, and Bam down there in Miami. Put LeBron in there. Giannis is clearly making his pitch. There was a video the other day, somebody pranked Giannis saying that LeBron just signed somewhere, and Giannis basically, like, his heart jumped. He was shocked. Like he really wants LeBron in Miami, and I think they have a really good chance to get him. Calvin, LeBron in Miami with this lineup. What's your percentage scale of 1 to 10? Thoughts?
I think it's like a 4 or 5. I don't like the fit. I don't think they have enough shooting. You're relying a lot on Mitchell. I don't know how good the bench is. I think you're relying on LeBron to play significant minutes during the regular season, and then like LeBron Giannis combo. I mean, Giannis is going to play defense along with Bam.
LeBron going to shoot threes. That's what LeBron do.
Yeah. I just feel like they're better fits. This is you have these new pieces that you have to kind of mesh together during the course of the season. This is a Giannis going to carry us to the playoffs, and then I'm going to turn it on. It's possible, but I don't think it's the best fit. So I would give like a 5 because it's in the East. I think it's better than the 2, especially better than Minnesota. But so I'll give it 5.
Justin,
this is a easy 10 for me. Because what LeBron James and I repeat it. Everything going to be a repeat of what I said last week. Those 4 guys that you see on there, they're all defenders. Simply from the 1 to the 5. Mitchell can defend. He can defend. So with that being said, that means LeBron James can easily hide on defense. No questions asked. There is no now you can do the swing. Of course, he's going to have to pick up people at times. But on a regular day, he could be Luka Doncic on the Lakers, in a sense. I could just hide out and it'd be okay. And no one would ask him to do anything. None of these guys would do that. 2, playmaking. That's the one thing that's kind of iffy on this lineup. So when you're saying like it's a lot, I'm not saying you, Calvin, but when people say it's a lot that he has to do, he's just doing what he can do naturally. Scoring the ball came easy, but being a playmaker was the one that he had a natural access, a natural skill set in. So I think that he will be actually deemed damn near a savior because he's the one that's making everything else go. And I think that's what he wants. You want to kind of feel wanted and admired, especially when you're heading out. You want to feel like, yo, this 40-year-old was the reason why we won. And I think he still wants it. This is still LeBron James. He still has the ego of someone that's leading all-time scoring, someone that's second, maybe first in some people's eyes as the greatest basketball player of all time. That ego doesn't go away. So he still wants that. He still wants Kobe 60 on the way out. So he still earns for that. So I'm not going to take that away from him. He still wants to win a championship in his last spot or second, whatever. He wants to go everywhere he goes. He wants to win a championship. Second or thirdly, whatever. I don't know what point I'm on. He's familiar with Miami. He has people there. He probably has a home there. You know what I'm saying? He understands what's going on in Miami. Him and Pat Riley is an aging fossil as we speak. I'm quite sure if he has cookies on this particular plane, because everyone brings up the cookies, he will have goddamn insomnia cookies or whatever cookies that you want on the plane for him at this particular point in time. So I'm not worried about that. And I'm not worried about the stringentness that the Miami way, the Heat culture way. Like, yo, LeBron James is a top physical condition as you can be as a 40-plus-year-old playing basketball. Not worried about that either. So all these things to me are benefits, and I don't see a negative here when it comes to this particular lineup. And then if you want to get physical, in which none of these other teams have like that, ain't nobody going to mess with him when you got Portis coming right off the bench. It can check in at any given time. So you're not even going to try to punk. I'm not saying people are going to, but even if that occurs from some young whippersnapper, you got people. Yeah, he got goons that's ready. So man, this is the perfect lineup. This is the perfect lineup spot for him. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Let's go to the left. Brad and Tatum in Boston. I think we can all very comfortably X that out. I think that was just like just being nice, I guess. I don't even know why. Right above that, you have a lot of business in outside of basketball reasons. And was this attributed to Philly or Golden State?
I thought that said Dallas.
I thought, yeah, do say
Yeah.
Dallas.
But I didn't
everything
understand
I'm saying for is the oil money from the owner. It's good golf down there. The Morocco connection. It's like the owner has like all that outside of
everything outside of basketball
stuff. Yeah, so I didn't really put a lot of stock into the Dallas one, but
Kyrie's there. I mean,
who else? You got Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that one. Let's go up to the top because this been picking up traction. I know Steph came out today and made his pitch that he wants LeBron and Golden State.
Oh.
That was a headline on ESPN today. Steph and Draymond are in Golden State. Again, we talked about last week about the Wizards saying they wasn't trading Anthony Davis. Looks like they're trying to settle in. They made a trade for Chris Middleton, get him back for a veteran off the bench. Look like the Wizards are trying to put something together and just stand pat. But Steph and Draymond, is LeBron going to Golden State? Jimmy Butler going to need time to recover?
Yeah.
What do y'all think? Start with you, Calvin.
I think the one thing that we got to mention is the trade of DeAndre Ayton to the Wizards. Like, is he to be a backup or is he going to start next to Sarr? And I think that plays a part in the AD trade, which ultimately goes to Golden State. Like, what do you bring DeAndre Ayton in? Is that your big man rotation with the three of them, Ayton, Sarr, and AD? Or is Sarr going to start next to Ayton? And now you're thinking about trading AD for whatever package you can get. So I think the Washington is open to it based off the DeAndre Ayton trade. It's just a matter of what can they get.
That's what I'm saying. What does Golden State have to give back?
Whatever they have all their picks because they won't use all their picks to get trade for Giannis. So they do have their picks. And then, but you also got to add the Jimmy Butler situation, which he was supposedly linked to Malik Beasley in the gambling situation. So does that play a part as well? So it's a lot of moving parts. And I think the longer this goes, the better it looks for Golden State because they're trying to iron out things with Jimmy Butler, iron out things with his situation. And then they already said they're not going to trade him. But if push comes to shove and you want LeBron, and you know you got to get AD. So I think the longer this goes, the better it looks for Golden State because that gives them time to work out the AD trade and to work out, sign additional free agents. And Draymond's not going anywhere. So I think the longer this goes, the better it looks for them.
What do you think, Justin?
It's a possibility.
What's your number 1 through 10, Calvin?
6. The longer this goes. Yeah.
You're pretty hard on that. Okay. Justin?
I say my number first. 3. Okay, LeBron James is there. Draymond Green is there. Steph Curry is there. And now you add LeBron James. Who's your perimeter defender? Okay. That's why
you get Clay.
You're not going to have LeBron James chasing people around. Yeah, the white boy, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to have LeBron James running around defending these upper class wingmen, the Shea Gilgeous of the world, and things of that. The Ant-Mans, they're all on this list. He's not chasing down none of these guys. Like he's not
going in.
What you want him to do. So until you tell me that they're going to find some way to bring back 2014, 2015 Klay Thompson to go along with LeBron James, then maybe. But that's not happening. So no, I don't see this happening also for his own sake. They'll look foolish out there. They'll be entertaining for sure. None of this is a lack of entertainment, but the fact of the matter is he's going to be lost out there, just like he was lost at times when it came to LA. He hated the fact that he had to guard the toughest people at times as much as he did for LA. You can tell in his gameplay, man. No, absolutely not.
Next up on the list, this is the pick I think for me is gaining the most traction, and that is the Philadelphia 76ers. A lot of people have been talking about this, and apparently, they've been making some plays for him too.
Yeah.
You got Maxey, Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, and Joel Embiid, and you put LeBron into that mix, this could be a very good situation for LeBron. I even think from a point guard perspective, while Maxey is more of a scorer, if you just need a distributor who could get everybody involved, this is a team I feel most comfortable LeBron running the point. With this lineup here, he'll get Maxey better looks. He'll get Edgecombe set up right. Brown will get the ball where he needed to. And Embiid, this will take pressure off him. And Embiid won't play every game, so we already know that. So I really think this is gaining traction. If I had to go one scale 1 through 10, I'm giving it a solid 7. I think that is the highest I'm going right now on any team. Because I just think from everything they have, the GM it made a play for LeBron publicly the other day as well. I'm liking it, man. I think Philly's the answer. Justin, what you think?
Basketball wise, it does make sense. I can't poo-poo this one. Yeah, he would be right there. The problem that I had with this is LeBron has a tendency to play savior. And I say that to say when he joined Miami, they didn't make the playoffs. He came there. They made the playoffs. They go to the championship. He's a savior. He comes back home to Cleveland. Cleveland wasn't doing anything. He's a savior in Cleveland. Anything is possible. Actually, I was kind of on that. Cleveland, this is for you. There you go. Then he goes to LA. LA was bottomed out. They were done. He brought them back, won a championship. He saved them. Philadelphia just got kicked out of the second round of the playoffs. Once again, I'm not bringing up old stuff.
Embarrassed.
Miami didn't make the playoffs this past year. That's all I'm saying. So I think he looks at that as almost like the Knicks. It's almost as easy as the Knicks. Why? Because, yes, the Knicks just won a championship, so we understand that. But this team, once they got Brown, was penciled in to be to the conference finals right away. Right away.
You think
so? They are the best team not named Knicks in the Eastern Conference right away. They are better than Detroit. They are better than whatever's left in Boston. There is no other Eastern Conference team. And then Jaylen Brown took the Boston team to the second seed by himself anyway. This team is or should be going to the finals. So we will see what the Knicks can do to stop that. However, do you want to just tag along of that coattail of that train that's already moving? Or do you want to make a significant impact somewhere else? That's on LeBron James and his ego. I don't know.
Calvin?
I like the fit. I like the team overall. Like you said, this is a team that doesn't need Embiid to play 80 games or even 70 games, and they can still be successful, make the playoffs as a top 4 seed, and if Embiid is healthy, make damage in the playoffs. I think this is a 7, just above the Golden State team. I like the fit is amazing. You can have LeBron set up each individual player. You can have Maxey play off the ball. You can have Edgecombe kind of do his thing, and you can get Brown easier shots, and he can be your best defensive player as well, guard the best wing on the opposing team. I think this is the best overall fit, and they're in the East, which I think makes a big difference as well. So you only have to play Oklahoma City or San Antonio. I think this is the best fit, but I don't know if this is the best fit for LeBron to continue to produce numbers as well. The numbers will take a severe hit because you're automatically the third, maybe fourth option on a good night.
See, I think y'all looking at this wrong. I really do, because think about it. He'd be 42 or 42 and 43. 42 years old, and he can actually play point guard. So I don't think his numbers will take a hit. I think his assists will go up. He might lead the league in assists. He might transform himself into being even more dangerous because his scoring won't be what he leans on the most. He can still score if necessary, but we know Embiid's not going to play the whole season. We know that. And I think what also gives me more pause to say, oh, they too low. They didn't win. And we can say, oh, they added Brown. But I've still heard a lot of people still doubt whether Philly can be what they are because they don't believe that Joel can stay healthy. They don't believe Joel's going to finish the year. Joel's going to be available. So yeah, you basically still leaning on Maxey, Edgecombe to take the next step, and for Brown to be what we know Brown to be. So it's not like that's a proven commodity as a unit. So I think adding LeBron to be a facilitator, he'll get credit. If he leads this team from a leadership perspective, he's still going to get credit. And then I think what also I think is important to note is what Rich Paul said. Had the Knicks not won the title, LeBron would be a Knick right now. That's what he said. So that means LeBron wanted to go somewhere where him being there puts them in a position that they win a title, and he will be part of what makes it be a championship team. Going to New York after they won the title is different. Philly has not. When the last time Philly won a championship? That's a story franchise.
46 years? 1980, 79,
so
81.
Again,
83.
We can say that, yeah, they got talent and all that. That's great. But at the end of the day, they've never won. They haven't won in the last, like you say, 40 years. So, yeah, LeBron goes there along with Brown, along with if Embiid is there or not. I still think this is a good, solid chance to take on a good Knicks team as well.
We have to understand, and we have to, because some people have ego problems. And let's say Anthony Davis, I'm not a 5 until maybe the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, then I'll do it. If Embiid is not there, he missed significant time. What kind of wear and tear would that be for LeBron James? Because he's going to have to pencil in to play the 4 or the 5.
You think so?
No, I don't think so. I think they'll sign a backup 5 or 5 else. But yeah, I ain't worried about that.
I need to know that backup right now. It was Drummond.
Drummond
signed with the Knicks.
Yeah, to back up the Cat.
Right. So we are now looking at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to bigs. Yes, I know a placeholder is a placeholder, but he's going to have to play significant minutes at that bigger position. And I don't know if he wants to bang like that, pause, with solid centers. It ain't that many out there, to be honest with you, on top of that. But that's what he's going to have to be required to do, because he's going to be healthy for the most part, but we know Embiid is not. So that's something he has to also take into consideration.
They picked up Dean Wade from Cleveland.
They signed Dean Wade and they signed Simons. Anthony Simons. So they got some depth.
Yeah. Simons is he a center or power forward?
No, he a guard. He was the one who was in Boston.
I don't know why Cameron brought that up in a big man conversation, but I get it. It is definitely
Dean Wade is a guard. Dean Wade is a guard.
Is that so? That's what I'm saying. We still have a big man issue.
He listed as a center for some reason.
Dean Wade,
like 6'9", yeah. Looking at it right now.
He played the guard in Cleveland. Well,
he shot a lot of threes.
He moved to the 3 when Harden came, so I'll take that back.
Yeah, but anyway, I do think they need a security blanket for Embiid. I'm surprised they let Drummond get out the building. But again, who signed
the guy that was in Indianapolis? The center.
Miles Turner?
No, the backup. I'm blanking on his name. I can't search because I can't think of. He signed somewhere recently. I wasn't sure if it was Philadelphia or not.
Yeah, I don't know. We can look at that a little further.
He was on Cleveland last year. Thomas Bryant.
Oh, TB. I thought he resigned.
Okay, he resigned. Okay.
All right, let's keep it moving. The Cleveland Cavaliers, and this one has the most next to it. You got Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Mobley, and Allen. Now we know Mobley and Allen kind of more so Mobley came up a little small in the playoffs. But then at the top, you got Dan Gilbert, of course, who LeBron is very familiar with this franchise, played for him on 2 occasions. No Garland is a negative next to that. What's that say? Weems? I want to say that says. Underneath above Garland, is that Weems?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I think he's a GM or something. He put that there as a positive, but the only negative is they don't have Darius Garland, and apparently LeBron is very high on Darius Garland.
Yeah, that's a clutch guy, right?
Yeah. So again, Harden, Mitchell signed a huge contract this past week. I think Mitch he re-signed a big supermax type deal. I don't think it was
Williams is the assistant general manager.
Okay, assistant. So he's high on him. Harden, I believe, is due for a contract, right?
He's still a free agent, but obviously there must be some type of handshake agreement when they brought him over.
Something coming, yeah.
But it must be waiting on LeBron to see, how much they can pay LeBron and pay Harden year 1 versus year 2, something like that.
So my order is Philly 7. I got Cleveland right behind that, but like somebody's brought up, the coaching situation in Cleveland is interesting. Will LeBron play for that coach, Kenny Atkinson? Does he have any faith for some of the comments he made? The coaching decisions in the playoffs? But it's Cleveland. I still think Cleveland has the edge here in some ways. And everything we talked about as far as the legacy, LeBron goes back to Cleveland and wins another one. It's a hell of a check mark.
Yeah.
Feather in his cap. Yeah. It's a feather in his cap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the team that just got beaten in the Eastern Conference Finals last year by the Knicks.
Got swept.
And then LeBron comes in there and be the difference. I think that's a big move. Justin?
If LeBron plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers, you still would have saw a sweep. It's just it is what it is. Detroit should have got rid of this team. They just didn't have enough offense, and that's just as simple as that. Their game plan to beat Detroit was at one point just stay away from the Thompson brother. So that's what we're dealing with. Once again, I'll add this to it. Mitchell, if they re-sign Harden, James, and Mobley and Allen, can you please tell me who's the perimeter defender here? Okay, understood.
Nobody.
So then you not have none.
You think they re-sign Harden if they sign LeBron?
They cannot.
That's why I say you don't need both. Dude.
So that's why this is like shaky, because I think that's the biggest piece there. If you're telling me that they get some 3-and-D kind of a guy to this team in replace of Mitchell, in place of Harden, we're talking about a whole different roster now. We're talking about something totally different. Whereas now LeBron can help make Mitchell more of a Kyrie-esque type of a guard, which is his natural position anyway. He's a star. And then Mobley and Allen, they can play around with that. They might need to get rid of Allen too. I don't mind Mobley being that main big because he can do that. He just chooses not to at times.
You need
my thing is you might need to do that to get more talent in.
I think you got to treat Mobley like AD, where he needs to play the 5 late in games. I agree with that, but I don't know if you get rid of Allen.
So if you just say that, I mean, Allen is not JaVale McGee,
but it's for offensive
purposes.
He's aggressive though.
Yeah. Yes, he's as what you want as a 5. He's a solid, above average 5. So you're telling me that we don't need an above average guy to play the game in the last couple minutes of the game? Then why do I have him on my team then? You know what I mean? Like, because what you're saying makes sense. You're just trying to spell Mobley as much as possible. No, do we have another AD or don't we? This is what I need you to do. I need you to play the 5. That's what you need to do. Simple as that. And then he'll be a stretch 5. He'll be one of the best
some dog in him. He ain't got no dog.
Yeah, he needs that aggressiveness. Like he sells for too many jumpers, in my opinion. Like even AD in his prime was doing a lot of diving to the basket on pick and rolls and driving in his prime. I don't see that for Mobley. I see him settling. I'm talking Mobley. I see Mobley settling for too many jumpers.
You remove Allen,
he
has no other choice but to play more of an inside threat.
But I think the two-headed monster, those big guys, really is what helps.
That's what stands Cleveland out, correct? But I'm just looking at the guard play. I'm just looking at.
I think the biggest
perimeter
issue
defense
is the reason he put no Garland there. I think if Garland was there and no Harden, LeBron goes there.
It'd be more money too.
Yeah, of course. But I just think that's where he would be at. So anyway, we know he ain't going to the Spurs. But it's interesting. This is an interesting list. Let's keep moving. We got a lot to cover tonight. We spent a good amount of time on this. Kawhi Leonard's trade has not been completed. News came out today. The league said that the trade cannot go through until that whole probe into everything that happened at the Clippers with the whole scandal is taken care of. So right now, BI is still a Toronto Raptor. Kawhi Leonard is still a Clipper. I'm sure it'll get cleared up, but it's just a timing thing. Very interesting. What's your thoughts, Calvin?
He getting suspended. I think that's all that means. He's getting suspended. We just don't know the length of the suspension, or we don't know or is it going to be a financial situation where he can't sign for more than for X amount of dollars? Something's going to happen that may cause Toronto not to trade for him. And if it's suspension of 30, 35 games, now does that mean maybe that means he's healthy in the season? So maybe you want to trade for him because he's going to be healthy going towards the playoffs. But something's going to happen, and the conversation is going to change in order to get this deal done. But it's a reason why the league said you can't go to Toronto specifically, and not that you can't get traded. So something more is going to happen. But I don't know why they're dragging this out. You've had all year. We knew about this before the season started, and you've been dragging this out. So either there's another shoe about to drop, or it's deeper than anyone ever thought, and they're just still gathering information. But something's going to happen, and in order for this trade to still happen, the conversation is going to have to change because of the suspension or the fine or penalties towards Kawhi Leonard.
What you say, Justin?
That's information which I don't necessarily have 100% information on, but I know that this is a bad look, right? That's one thing. I know that Adam probably isn't sleeping well right now. Like this is like a shadow cloud over your league in this. So he's probably doing whatever he can in his power to get this over, because now you got teams that can't make trades, that put themselves out there, which means not only did you set the trade up, you adjusted financials and things of that nature, and now you're supposed to backtrack and stuff. That could reroute your whole offseason in a sense. So this is a bad look. It's a black eye. So I think that's the main thing I'm taking from it, is the fact that Adam is doing whatever he can to try to get rid of this, to try to resolve this, whatever power that he has, so we can move forward, because we can't have this going into the season. It's not even fair to Toronto, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's tough because you made a trade and now you got to hold on to two guys and three guys really who think that y'all didn't want.
I'm about to say, more importantly, Glorilla was packing her Toronto bags to go to LA. You feel me? And she had marketing deals and things like that set up. They stunting the Glorilla. So shout out to Big Glow.
That's funny. And finally, NBA news. Man, Brad Stevens gave a press conference the other day, and I think he should have just shut up, because the explanation he gave, two guys taking up 70% of your cap, such a high percentage of usage.
What's the first obvious thing?
Paul George making just, I think, the same amount of money. Like Paul George makes $45 million.
No, he made 50 more. He made more than that. He made more than that. He made 52, something like that. Yeah.
I really have a problem with you trying to use money as the reason, and the money still don't make sense. And then, look, I know a lot of people try to make this about Jason Tatum. Jason put out a statement on IG first, and then he said some other stuff in the statement that, look, and I get it. You don't have to be best friends to be teammates. Another person made another good point. Was Scotty and Mike best friends? No. They hang with each other off the court? No. Did Kobe and Shaq hang with each other outside the court? No. Were they best friends? Did they stand up for each other? No. It happens. Nobody's expecting that.
This is a different situation, in my opinion, though.
Do you think Tatum wanted Brown gone? That's just the bottom line. If you think that Tatum wanted to clear the deck so that he could be the lone star in Boston, there's your answer. If you don't think that, we'll never know one way or another. But that is the narrative that's going around. Tatum wanted to be the man, and he wanted Brown up out of there because Brown wanted to be the man, and he had two men, even though they were getting him one title. I don't know, man. What you think, Calvin?
I think it's interesting that teams called and asked about Jason Tatum, and Boston said he was untouchable and didn't even take offers. I think it's interesting when you compare it to other duos, but this duo is only a year apart in age, and Shaq and Kobe was 6-7 years apart. Mike and Scottie, I think 3 or 4 years apart. So these, and especially in the NBA, which you talk about, the players are closer than ever, and they want to play with certain players. They want and all that. And these two so close in age, in college 1 year apart, and they still choose not to get along. And then the other option is what JB said. We're two different people. We have two different interests, and what my interests are don't really align with what's going on in the city of Boston versus Jason Tatum, and that plays a part as well. And I don't how Brad Stevens and the owner, I forgot his name, try to spin it to a financial decision, and how they say, well, we can't allocate 70% of the cap to two players when the cap goes up every year, and the goal is to eventually win. So if I'm Boston, why aren't you pissed? Because you went from having a perennial team that can make the finals each and every year, has a chance to compete for a title, to a team that's probably going to win 50 games, but they won't compete in playoffs. You're relying, unless you think Paul George is going to be Jaylen Brown. But also, one last thing I'll say, when they won the title 2 years ago, if Tatum won Conference Finals MVP and Finals MVP, I don't think we're here. I don't think we're here because at that point, Tatum is clear-cut number one. And unless JB wants to be a number one somewhere else, I don't think we're here, because he said he never requested a trade, which I thought was crazy. I thought at some point we would have requested a trade, being the Giannis rumors. He never requested a trade at any point. So,
what you think, Justin?
First, when it comes to his main point when it came to the cap thing, the first person that they was linked to was Giannis. So Giannis would have won an extension right along with Tatum. So that right there tells you that he's lying. It's a bold-faced lie, because they put themselves out there saying that, hey, we couldn't continue the deal because maybe they wanted too many players or whatever the case. Never was, you know what, it's Giannis, right? He's going to want too much money based off his extension. So we didn't say that. We said no to it. He never said that. So he's already lying. Understood. Next, Tatum. Could he have said something? Boston doesn't win without Brown. He could have tweeted that and left it alone. Tweeted it and left it alone. If he really supported him publicly. He doesn't. He doesn't.
Call it what it is.
So, it is. I think he's salty. I think he thought that he should get some of those awards that he didn't get. And I think he wants to be the guy. I think that's his competitive spirit. And he'll have his chance. But it's like, I feel like this is real McNabb and T.O.-ish. Like, hey man, like you gonna vouch for me? No, you're not. Like you just okay, understood. I gotta walk there. Like he left him out there. Tatum could have put the rest, so many rumors, so many issues, so many everything. And he chose not to. He chose to stay quiet, and then he did the ChatGPT farewell response to it. I'm not buying it. And that's just how I feel about it. So I think Brad is lying. It's proven that Brad is lying. Tatum had multiple chances, subliminals or not, to say something, to do something. Hell, his lady could have came out with a song to support Jaylen Brown some kind of way, and that could have been a way, because he would LMA or whatever the case may be. All I'm saying is that this is 2026. He had hella ways to support JB, and he never chose the one option.
How you throw LMA under the bus?
I'm just saying. Hey, yo,
just write like them sad songs like Taylor Swift or something.
Just the two of us. She could have made a rendition to just the two of us.
Yo, I'm done.
It could have been about them too. So no, I just think it's they both full of crap, to be honest with you.
I honestly am still, because we keep hearing about, Golden State going to trade for AD and da 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 da. Why wouldn't Boston trade? If you're going to trade Jaylen Brown, trade him for AD. At least if you pair AD and Tatum together, it's better than Paul George. Like I know AD probably want an extension too, but still, you'd rather pay him.
They could have had Darren Peterson and JB. That didn't sound bad to me.
That's what I'm still confused by this. Like, anyway, it's weird. This is weird. Anyway, let's keep moving. Let's get into this NFL preseason preview. So, as we do every year, we typically take about 4 teams and we discuss possibly going a division by division, mixing it up. But in my research, I just went with the 4 worst for the first week, and we're just gonna move on from there. And we're gonna talk about them round table style. Let's move. Let's start with the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals made some moves in the offseason, losing Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is no longer starting quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. He didn't start last year. Jacoby Brissett was kind of the fill-in guy. Actually played pretty decent. They could beat the Cowboys at some point. They picked up Gardner Minshew. They had a couple moves here and there. But I think if you're going to look at what was the biggest move for the Arizona Cardinals in the offseason, you have to look at Jeremiah Love, drafting him in the first round. He's an explosive college player looking to come in and be that next big running back. Now, I know a lot of people had hesitation after we saw from Genty out there in the Raiders last year. Didn't really give that rookie spark that a lot of people expected. But if you watch Jeremiah Love in college, the guy was sensational. He really was an impact player. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Cardinals are able to do, bringing Love in. Is he able to impact that backfield? We know what they got at tight end. They got weapons. They got some playmakers, Marvin Harrison Jr. They got, again, a quarterback is always not, the answer all the time, but you added more firepower to the backfield with Tyler Algier backing up Jeremiah Love. I'm assuming he's going to start. You went and got a Kendrick Bourne from New England to help on the outside with some of the receiving. Who you think is starting at quarterback? What's your thoughts? What do you see from the Arizona Cardinals in 2026? I'll start with you, Cal.
Look, I'm excited to see Jeremiah Love. I think he's far and away better than Ashton Genty coming out last year. He catches the ball in the backfield. He can every run is an explosive run. I think one game in college he had like 12 carries for 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's going to be an explosive back. Hopefully he stays there long enough to get a quarterback. But I'm really looking forward to seeing him. And as far as I'm concerned, the quarterback from last year, is he still holding out?
Jacoby Brissett.
He's still holding out, correct? So, yes. I mean, training camp is a couple weeks away. If are you going to start Carson Beck, or do you just not care and say, "Look, we're going to play we're playing to get our quarterback in the draft next year," which I think they're the worst team in the league. So I think they're easily going to have the number 1 overall draft pick.
If that's the case, you might as well roll back out there and see what you got. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I still think if you're a coach, you still want to try to win it because you want to try to be there next year when you get the number 1 pick.
They got
Marvin Harrison's been really underwhelming. They talk about his younger brother's the better receiver now, which hadn't even heard about him until recently. So, and it was talk about him getting traded in the offseason as well. So, I'm really excited to see Jeremiah Love. That's where my focus is with the Arizona Cardinals. Other than that, I have a bet that they win they're under hits. I think it's 3.5, and I think that's a guarantee because I can't find 2 wins on their schedule. But Arizona Cardinals for me is just Jeremiah Love and seeing what he can do. And seeing if he's going to be offensive rookie of the year, even with that poor offense, in my opinion.
You think they got a poor offense? I really don't think the offense.
I don't think they have a quarterback.
Let me speak on this.
Go ahead, Justin.
I think sometimes the best thing is addition by subtraction. They had to get rid of Kyler Murray to easy the waters when it comes to who's playing quarterback. You cannot have a carousel. We all know that. So he's gone. Brissett is still operating like he's the starting quarterback, and he's going to be there. He just got Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison, and a couple other guys for off-season workouts down in South Florida. So he's doing what you're supposed to do as a starting quarterback. And we can't ask for anything else when it comes to that. So I believe he's going to be starting with no question, no hesitation. And the thing is, I think he's serviceable enough. If they won 5 games and the team was in flux when it comes to who's starting, who's not, so on and so forth, now that they have stability at the quarterback position with Love, with a Harrison, that's back. Right? I mean, that's he should be back to his regular self, I should say, because he actually performed better with Jacoby than he did with Kyler. And then, like you said, and you have the all-world tight end in McBride. That's enough to win at least, I'm gonna say 6, maybe 7 games.
That's what I say. The offense is good.
That's enough.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
They won 5,
got
and they was in
playmakers.
flux. And now you have
Okay.
supposed to be a premier. Don't forget, running backs hit the gate running off top. So
Sure.
you know what I'm saying, so
If
he's
you that
supposed
guy.
to be one of those ones,
Sure.
right? So I mean, we'll see. But I
You got the
think
tight
that
end and the running back. That's a big
stability
part
was what Arizona needed. They needed to be stable, and now we can see what you really need to add moving forward. Like I said, it's not a this year thing; it's a next year thing for them. But they got to be stable at first. I think they finally achieved at least that.
Yeah, we'll keep out. Again, nobody's saying they're going to the Super Bowl, but we're just looking at each team is the bottom of the barrel. Let's see if they make an improvement over 2025. Let's keep moving. Tennessee Titans. This is year 2 for Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be interesting to see. You know, this team in the offseason, they made some moves. They actually beefed up the defense. I think they came and they went and got Wan'Dale Robinson from the New York Giants. Trubisky would be a backup. Look, at the end of the day, this is not going to be a knock your socks off team. This is going to come down to what can Cam Ward bring to the table. At the end of the day, you gave up Ladarius Sneed. You went out there and said, hey, we're going to build around the – huh?
They cut him, right?
Yeah, they gave him up. Yeah. Like, this came down to what can we do to surround the young quarterback with weapons? They did nothing. I don't think they did anything sensational. Wan'Dale Robinson was good for the Giants. Don't get me wrong. But is he going to come in there and change life? I like some of the young receivers they have. I like the running game. Former, what was the name? From the Dallas Cowboys.
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard ran well last year. We'll see if they're able to build off of it. I don't have any high expectations for this team. Justin, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on the 2026 Cam Ward? I know this is a former Miami Hurricane. You were high on Cam Ward. Did you like what you saw last year? Do you think he takes the next step in year 2?
I think undoubtedly he takes the next step. We just don't know what that step is going to look like, and that's the problem. This team, as bad as they are, you know, they don't have any diamonds in the rough. They don't have any stellar guys, you know, and they're not drafting enough ways though they can say like, oh, this guy's this guy that. There's no love on this team, I should say. You know what I'm saying? So this might be one of the worst teams in the league. Like I would definitely push back against Arizona. This Tennessee team might be one of the worst ones in the league. Did they help their line? Yes, their line is solidified. I can see
they went out and got some linemen. They did.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So they're going to keep Cam up, pause for an extended period of time, way more because he was running around like God knows what last year. So that's going to be an improvement. But at the end of the day, they don't have enough single talent to win one-on-one matchups and things of that nature. So I see a tough season, but I think he himself will look better. They're just going to lose.
What you think, Calvin?
I think they have an underrated. No, I'm saying they underrated. They have a trio of receivers that I think that can surprise teams. They draft Carnell Tate with their, I think the 4th overall draft pick, and coming out of Ohio State, which is like wide receiver U. So I'll give them credit for trying to improve improve the talent around Cam Ward by getting him weapons. I think this is a better Jeremiah Love team if you give Cam Ward that run game and that pass catcher out the backfield. But I'll say, and they did sign whatever Rob, like you said, they still have Calvin Ridley as well. So I think they have underrated pass catchers, and they have the young guy in Carnell.
Calvin Ridley run like he got a piano on his back. Stop it.
He do, but I like this offense more than I like Arizona's offense outside of the tight end, because I know who my quarterback is in Tennessee. I know who I'm building around. I know what he has an arm. If I can get him the weapons, then I can get him the ball. I don't know what Marvin Harris is doing out there in Arizona, so I still like this Tennessee team.
We saw flashes.
They're not saying underrated. I think they're going to have flashes. I think they're going to upset a couple of teams as well. They still have a long way to go talent-wise, especially on defense. But I like the addition that they have with Cam Ward. Now, this is where Cam Ward has to take a step up and show that he could play and make his receivers better. That's what we need to see out of year 2 Cam Ward.
This might be a hot take, but I wasn't impressed with Cam Ward as rookie. I can't remember one game.
Yeah, lack of talent. I don't blame him for the lack of talent that he had.
I'm not saying
I can't necessarily blame him 100% for that.
I can't think of one game where I was like,
You
damn.
you were still looking for sparks. Like Caleb. Caleb gave you sparks in the rookie season. You know what I mean? And you wasn't really getting too much of that. So I agree with I agree. He doesn't have that much to jump from year 1 to year 2. Let's say that.
Even in the shootout he had with Dion's son,
Shador.
he wasn't impressive. I thought that, like, I don't recall anything impressive. Like, again, I want to see more. Let's just say that. Let's just see that. Look, at least Shador gave you some highlights, and he ain't had no weapons. I need to see some stuff. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Let's keep moving. The New York Jets. This team here, man. Aaron Glenn. Look, guys. He was a great defensive coordinator in Detroit, but in year 1, some of the ineptitude they rolled out there with the quarterback play. I mean, between Tyrod Taylor, you had some terrible performances by Justin Fields. Like, it was just bad, man. This looked like an unorganized train wreck. And, man, they just looked uninspired. They looked bad. And they have to take a next step. They went out there and gave money to the running back, gave him a lot of money in the offseason. Hopefully that makes him feel more enthused, more, Breece Hall going to go out there and play like, he's worthy of that check. But sometimes people start resting on their laurels once they get paid. They went out and traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins, add him back to the backfield. Remember, a few years ago, the Jets had one of the best defenses in the entire National Football League. Justin had them going to the Super Bowl. And then they lose Aaron Rodgers and the whole thing crumbles to the ground. I mean, you went out, you beefed up your linebacker core, went out and got a Demario Davis. Hopefully the defense gets back to true to form. David Bailey, I thought, was a good pick early in the draft. Let's see if that pays off dividends. It's a tough division, man. Tough division with Buffalo. We saw what New England was able to do last year. I don't have high hopes. I don't. But we'll see. Calvin, I'll start with you.
Is that John Simpson supposed to be the Ravens John Simpson?
Yeah, he got cut last year.
He's black though, right?
Hey, that's not my problem. It's
okay.
AI.
I was confused. I was like, that's all I got for New York. They're terrible. Go get a quarterback next year. I have nothing to describe this team. You have no quarterback and you rely on Aaron Glenn.
They got a couple good pieces in the offseason. Justin,
all right, so let's bring some positivity to the Jets. One, I like the fighting spirit that Geno is showing in the offseason with his scruffles with
they already got Geno Smith.
Great, so you mean literally fighting spirit.
Yo, beat the hell out of this girl.
Can't make a comment.
Oh man, with all due respect to people of DV and things of that nature, these are all jokes. But
bro, that was just as bad as the big Tigger one.
The big Tigger,
Mr. Tigger.
So some people may be over exaggerating certain situations. But that tells me that he's ready. I don't know about the Marcellus one yet. I haven't. There's no video.
I saw whatchamacallit's comments, but I didn't hear about this. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I gotta see a video. But with that being said, Breece is still Breece. He's gonna flirt with 2,000 yards, minus 500. With that, then you have David Bailey. I love that pickup. It seemed like I'm a big fan of Kenyon Sadiq. Like I'm a big fan of that. I really wanted Tampa Bay to like maybe try to get him some kind of way. It didn't work, but I like who we got. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, man, I think that they're getting certain pieces around. And like I said, sometimes you need stability. Geno does bring a sense of stability to the Jets, in which something that they did, Lord knows, they did not have in Justin Fields. And a shout out to Fields. We all wanted Fields to have had some type of success. We're tired of Fields, just getting by in a sense. So that was his shot. He failed. it is what it is. So Geno brings, like I said, stability, veteran leadership, and that's what this team needs. Hopefully, Garrett Wilson can get some love on the wideout tip. And like I said, I love the tight end. He should eat. This is the type of tight end that's very similar to homeboy in Atlanta. Like he's a difference maker. He's like 3 touchdowns in one game kind of a guy. So hopefully they can lean off of that. Hopefully they can Geno can give him the ball, and hopefully Brees can do what Brees does. And don't forget his backup is a monster too. So I like the Jets to win at least 2 games this year.
All that for 2 games.
Oh man, boy, you was warming up them nachos, Chief. You was getting ready, and yeah, I agree.
2 games.
Yeah. Finally, let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders, who had probably one of the more interesting off seasons of anybody in the league. Before anything, they tried to trade Max Crosby to the Baltimore Ravens, and that whole debacle. And the Ravens failed Crosby on the physical, so we got Crosby in town for a day or 2, and he had to go right back to LA. So now the Raiders said after the moves they made, because they thought Max Crosby was gone, so they started wheeling and dealing. I mean, they was picking up everybody. They addressed the offensive line, went out and got Tyler Linderbaum, went out and got like multiple players on defense, thinking that they had money to spend because they got rid of Max Crosby. And then all of a sudden, Max had to come back, and they said, well, we might as well keep him too. Or the trade value just wasn't there no more because people thought that their physical wasn't going to get passed, so they weren't going to get the value back for Crosby that they thought. Because I think the Ravens traded, 2 ones for him or something like that?
2 ones.
2 ones. Didn't end up doing it. So the Raiders just held on to him. And they went out and got other players to Kwity Paye. They went out and got other players. I can't think of everybody right now. But anyway, you go out and get a center in Tyler Linderbaum to go with your all-pro tight end Brock Bowers, Gentry, who you drafted last year. You went out and got him. You drafted Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall, to start your offense. Go out and get a veteran in Kirk Cousins to be maybe possibly the starter until Mendoza's ready. We don't know how that's going to go. Will they start the rookie, or will they go with Kirk Cousins early and just ease Mendoza into there? Either way, I think you got rid of Pete Carroll, which I think was a big part of this whole thing. You go hire Clint Kubiak to be the head coach, want to run the offense. You're starting fresh. Tom Brady said this team was going to be molded in a whole different light in 2026, and I think they've done a very, very good job trying to put together something that might not win this year, but I can see this team contending in the very near future, especially as that AFC West continues to take a bit of a chip away. The Chiefs ain't going to be the same. We know what Denver represents. We don't know about how long the Chargers are going to be able to stay at that level. I think this is a good offseason by the Raiders, and I'm not saying they're going to the playoffs this year, but a lot of the moves they made this year could really pay off dividends over the next few years. Justin, what's your thoughts on the Raiders?
The Raiders is interesting to say the least. I'm interested in seeing who actually maintains the starting quarterback position year 1. Do they just go with Mendoza, or do they say, all right, Kurt, hold us down? The problem with Kurt's going with this team. I truly believe this team with Kurt can win some games. I didn't see what Kirk Cousins do with tight ends personally. I didn't see it. And when I say when Kurt shows up, I told y'all before, I much preferred the other dude in ATL versus Kirk Cousins every game.
Penix.
Because Penix, yes, Penix, we can beat Penix. Not with Kirk. Because he's a pure gunslinger, to say the least.
Gunslinger, baby.
Yeah, and I can show him love because he's not in our. We're not going against him 2 times out the year anymore, so he can get some love now. And I think he's a starting quarterback, man. And like I said, him with that tight end that they had, which is one of the best tight ends in the league, he can take that number 1 spot back from McBride. They still got Gentry. They got pieces, man. They had pieces last year. It was just like, we just don't have anything to put these things together. not as much as you would want. Geno was having issues and things of that nature. Sometimes Geno's a little bit tentative to like really throw it. That's not Kirk. That's not Kirk's problem. Kirk won't throw you into a game. He'll throw you out of the game and then throw you right back in it. So as long as they keep Mendoza on the back burner and give this one season to Kirk, I got 6 to 8 wins easy for them, for sure.
That's a lot. I
think it's reasonable.
I think Fernando Mendoza went to Indiana. I think the only thing that holds this team back, I think that they have one of the worst lines in the league. I think the addition of Linderbaum helps, but the guard play is bad. And when I say bad, I mean Ravens of last year bad. I don't know how much Linderbaum helps that when I think he needs elite guard play to be successful. I think they're taking the steps in the right direction. I don't like the receivers either. I think this is a Kirk Cousins year. I think Fernando Mendoza sits and learns a lot, especially from Brady as well, before he gets out on the field, maybe late in the year, but definitely next year. And they still playing one of the tougher divisions, which is why we say 6 to 8. That just seems like a lot. I mean, I can see 5-6 wins, but 6 to 8, that's almost you're competing for a playoff spot late into the season if you're talking about 6 to 8 wins, especially on that higher end of 8. So I just think their offensive line holds them back. The receiving group isn't great. Bowles gets a lot of attention, but you're going to rely on Genty as well to take a step up. So I can see 6 wins and at maximum for this Raiders team. They're just playing a tough division where everyone is a playoff contender. Everyone is potentially a Super Bowl contender as well. So I think that's just when you see when you're in this division and you're young, you're trying to build something, it doesn't bode well for you until you get going, until you get your franchise quarterback up and running. So I think it's going to be a better year, but there's still steps to take for Vegas, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, let's go on to our basketball tournament, the Fab Five tournament, the greatest NBA lineups in history. We've been counting this down every week, so let's get started. Let's take a look at the East. We kind of went over this the last week in some ways, but Justin went and put these teams into a simulator, and let's take a look at the Atlanta Hawks and the Toronto Raptors and how this would turn out if these two teams played in a 7-game series. Let's just remind everybody of the lineup. The Hawks would be Pete Maravich, Joe Johnson, Dominic Wilkins, Bob Pettit.
Black Bob Pettit.
The white guy.
Hey, man, this is what it is. I'm trying to produce a lot of stuff very quickly. Kyle Lowry, Vince Carter is pretty dark.
Antonio Davis look like Andy Davis.
Yo, first and foremost, that threw me off for a second. It's definitely Antonio Davis. I was like, did I F up real quick? I was like, wait a second. Because
Just read the names and
it definitely threw me off. I was like, nice.
Did I miss something?
This ain't a bad lineup. I said that wasn't a bad lineup.
With the win.
All right,
Thank you for joining us.
Bob Pettit started the series off hot. Vince Carter basically had a nice little stretch. Took over game 2. So we definitely love that about VC. Chris Bosh had his moments, but not enough throughout this series. Kawhi Leonard didn't have the same impact on this series just as much as he did with the Clippers series. Much better Kawhi Leonard at that particular point in time for whatever reason that the simulator gives. But after that, Joe Johnson was one of the main key components in this series. His buckets was just fruitful when it came to his time. So ISO Joe definitely did his thing. I was a little bit surprised at the consistency that Joe Johnson scored the rock. They had no answers for him. So that's just how it goes with that. So and I think Pistol Pete ended the series. He closed these dudes out. They ended up winning 4-2. So Pistol was just doing this thing, shooting, dishing, just like I expected him to do. Kyle Lowry had nothing for him. It is what it is, and that's just the way it is with these matchups. It's not a lot of switching. It's not a lot of different things. It's just pretty much mostly head to head and see if you can score, see if you can't. If it's something crazy, then I might change some things up. But it wasn't crazy. This team was built for that.
Oh yeah, you changed some stuff up. And we watched some of the results from last week. You ain't changed some of that stuff.
Well, some things you can't change.
Oh
Some
yeah,
things you can't change. The best defender is on the best offensive player. I can't change that. Sean Marion and I think it was Kawhi Leonard.
That's ridiculous.
I can't change anything.
So Calvin, who did you have winning this matchup? The Hawks and the Raptors.
I think I had the Raptors.
Justin, who you got?
I think I went with the Hawks. For the simple fact of I do like Pistol Pete and Wilkins together. Joe Johnson completely shocked me. So in this series, it might be a little different. If they was playing for real, I will see Kawhi maybe strapping up on Joe.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We supposed to be talking
real.
We ain't talking about the simulator.
That's what I'm switching to that. So that will leave Wilkins and Carter. Man, when I tell you on that simulation, man, it was some extremely versatile, high-flying dunks between these two brothers. That was fun to see. But I'll still go for the Hawks. I just think they have a better overall five. I know Chris Bosh is that dude, but I think they take a defensive hit when it comes to Mutombo versus Antonio/Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I go with the Hawks. So we have the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks moving on in the second round. Let's keep it moving. The New York Knicks versus the Brooklyn Nets. You got Jalen Brunson, Earl Monroe, Carmelo Anthony, Willis Reed, and Patrick Ewing versus Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Julius Erving, Kevin Martin, and Brooke Kenyon Martin. Oh, my eyes. Kenyon Martin and Brooke Lopez. Let's take a look at the simulator. No, you don't have this one. All right, so let's pick this one.
I ain't got the Knicks on there?
Nah.
Thought that'd been the first one.
You do.
Okay.
Here we go.
I do. Okay.
Thank you for watching
this was
the
quickly
NBA.
A 7-game series,
by
man.
2K Sports.
It started off, I'm gonna say like 3-0, something along those lines. Melo was going off as I expected.
Not surprised.
Who else went off? Melo went off multiple games. Let me just say that. So I quickly went through that. Jalen Brunson had a great game. And I was like, oh, we sweeping these boys. I was like, I'm literally watching like, yo, it's over. I guess somebody told Dr. J to wake up. And when I say that he went to work on Carmelo Anthony, and it was nothing, it's like I said, who do you switch off of? Like, do you gonna put Earl on him? No. You gonna put Willis Reed on him? No. So Melo just had to sit there and get that work. And he got that work for 2 straight games. I was like, hey, yo, we need to change some things up. But then I think Vince Carter came alive as well. So this went to game 7, and I got nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got a little nervous. But to New York fashion, the last minute I showed this graphic for a reason. You notice Brooklyn stopped scoring at a certain point, and then it was New York on the way out. I was like, that it happened like that in the game. And when I tell you I was enjoying every second of this, although I did not have the Knicks as my team, this is Larry's contraption here. I was rooting for them the whole entire time.
Calvin, do you buy this?
So you would have changed the team?
Something feels.
I didn't. No, this was Larry's team. I created the Knicks from the 5. You know, so I just didn't mind losing. That's all I'm saying.
He was pulling for his opponent.
You think Brooklyn more so was in control, and then all of a sudden, something happened, power went out. They came back and it was down 3-1.
Absolutely not.
I ran this series a couple times.
No, I did not. I was going to be
prepared for it. You know what happened?
I was going to say, I told you shouldn't have played such and such. Like, I was ready for that. I was ready for either way.
Willis Reed and Patrick Ewing got hurt, so you had to restart it just to get them through the series.
Absolutely not. The injuries are off, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. All right, but if they were to play in real basketball, if I can get that together some kind of way, just the lack. Sometimes that defense has a thing, but the defense for the New York does not creep in just yet. Maybe they're gonna have issues later on, but I think New York would win this. I think Melo can score just as much as Julius can score. Earl can score just as much as Vince can score. They're gonna cancel each other out. Kenyon and Willis, I think Willis negates a lot of what Kenyon likes to do, the up and down the court type of thing, and Patrick Ewing is just a little bit. He's much better than Brook Lopez. Jalen Brunson, I think, is scoring anybody. So as good as Kidd was defensively, he doesn't stop Jalen Brunson. That's why New York will get the edge for me.
Disrespectfully, I'm probably putting Kyrie and KD on Brooklyn.
You can't do that.
I'm probably over Vince.
This was there for a few years.
So
I might go over Vince. That's true. KD might be more of a story. I could put Julius Erving at
the fast break is what I tried to do. When they won like 3 straight games, and I put it even for the last game, I put them as a running gun team, like get it and go, and that's when they took it to a whole nother level. And yeah, it was.
Oh, you changed that attributes as the games went on.
Not the attributes per se, just the style of play. Because I'm trying to make it competitive. I'm not necessarily negating one guy for another guy. I'm just trying to make it competitive.
Interesting. All right, so Cal, we got the Knicks.
Yeah, got the Knicks easily.
All right, so Knicks moving on to the next round. Final matchup in this bracket: Philadelphia 76ers versus the Washington Wizards. You have Tyrese Maxey, Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley, Moses Malone, and Joel Embiid versus John Wall, Gilbert Arenas, Caron Butler, Alvin Hayes, and Wes Unseld. Did you have this one? No, I don't see this one here.
That should be in there.
This is from last week. Yes. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
I might have put AJ DeBanson instead of Caron Butler.
Damn.
I think Caron was a good choice. Looking back at it.
Oh,
you got it?
No. That's disappointing.
When it comes to this series was it was over as soon as it started. That backcourt between John Wall and Gilbert Arenas kind of took over. And when I say that, I tried everything to get the philosophy to pound the ball inside and then work back outside. Allen Iverson said to me, he sent me a text message that said, it's not going to work for me today. And as a result, he kept shooting. He kept going ISO ball. I couldn't get that out of that situation. So it was just only a matter of time. If you look head to head, yes, this situation might play differently on the court, but when it comes to the simulation, you cannot leave people like John Wall and Gilbert Arenas wide open. So Gilbert just ate. He ate the whole series. And the bigs of Philadelphia couldn't eat enough. So that's exactly how it played out. Yeah.
4-1 Washington.
4-1. 4-1 Washington. That is correct.
Now we know Wes Unseld wasn't no slouch.
Not at all. Not at all.
Hayes was no slouch, but I'm sorry.
You would think that the big three, or not even the big three, just the front court of Philadelphia is that overpowering. Had this been in real life, we're trying to put it out there like that. And like I said, I would still go with Philadelphia on this one for the simple fact that if Allen Iverson were to go ISO like that, Charles and Moses would have pulled him up some kind of way, and then they would have swept the rest.
So you're saying it would have been a mutiny? I got you.
Yeah, they would.
It would have been some fists flying, and I guarantee you that Allen Iverson would have been a more traditional guard. I know he's still the 2 guard, but he would have been passing the ball way more than what you would have saw. So, but unfortunately, I can't do that in the game. So there it is.
Calvin, who you got in this matchup?
I had Philly. I mean, I didn't think I thought the backcourts would easily give each other buckets, but I thought the front court would make a difference. But
yeah, I got Philly as well, and Washington is my team. I can't. But it's good to see that simulation give you something different, though. That's cool. All right, so let's move to the South. We don't have a video for this, but let's keep it moving. So let's talk with the first team, and that's the San Antonio Spurs versus the Charlotte Hornets. Tony Parker,
Look at this picture right here. It's already over. Just look at it.
Kawhi Leonard,
Look
Tim
at
Duncan, and Victor Wembanyama versus Baron Davis, Kemba Walker, Glenn Rice, Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning. Now, to be honest, that Charlotte team isn't terrible for a 90s basketball team. If this was back in the 90s, they could run ball. But against that Spurs team, that's a sweep. I don't see any way they get a game. That's just me personally. Justin, what you think?
I'm trying to think in the mind of a simulator now. Like I've been doing this so much now. There's still no way. It's no. You like two-way players. You have two-way players. You have Victor that's going to deter so many shots. And Burn and Kemba, they're not as pure shooters like that. So the only pure shooter they have is Glenn Rice, and that's the one guy in which one of the best perimeter defenders will be locked up with time and time again. So yeah, I don't see the advantage here whatsoever.
Yeah, Spurs easily. The defense. I don't see how Charlotte gets offensively can get anything started. I got San Antonio in the sweep easily.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. Orlando Magic for Calvin's team, Penny Hardaway, Tracy McGrady, Hedo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis, and Shaquille O'Neal. That's a hell of a lineup. Versus the Dallas Mavericks, Derek Harper, Orlando Blackman, Luka Doncic, Dirk Nowitzki, and Tyson Chandler.
Tyson Chandler like 3 inches shorter.
Calvin, who you got?
I got Orlando. I think we got prime Shaq. As much as I talk about Tracy McGrady,
that's not prime Shaq. Don't wait. Hold up.
Hold up. You're right. Let me
prime
say that. Prime Tracy McGrady. As much as I talk about Tracy McGrady, the Orlando years is something special. And with Shaq and with Penny, they won't squander a 3-1 lead in my opinion. So I'm giving it to Orlando. As long as Doc's not the coach.
I see. This is why I set it up the way I set it up. I picked defensive minded that can still score the ball, guards, so that Luka can kind of do his thing and try to hide as much as possible. So when you have a Luka versus a Hedo, I can take that. I can take Dirk over Rashard Lewis. I can take that. Tyson Chandler can stay there when it comes to Shaq, but. Who am I kidding? You're talking about one of the best backcourts in the league right now that we have so far. So there's nothing. There's nothing, man. And Tracy in Orlando was a hell of a defensive player as well. He didn't really lose that until he got to like Houston, whatever, when he started to not care as much. So, yeah, man, this is a formidable Orlando Magic team.
Yeah, man, this is tough, man. This is a good. So I think we're going with Orlando. Moving on to take on the Spurs in the second round. Wow.
That's gonna be
what a matchup.
That's
gonna be interesting when we line it up and we really look at the matchups.
Yeah, you gotta roll the ball out, baby.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. Next up in the South, the Houston Rockets with Chris Paul, James Harden, Tracy McGrady, Moses Malone, and Akeem Olajuwon, one of the best lineups you're going to find out here, versus Calvin's New Orleans Pelicans of Chris Paul. So Chris Paul taking on himself. JJ Redick, Brandon Ingram, Anthony Davis, and Tyson Chandler.
Tyson Chandler done grew 3 inches.
Yeah, he did get big as the pictures went along, but maybe everything, that maybe stand on a couple of beignets down there in New Orleans. AD was mad down there in New Orleans, man. That's when AD was like great. But yeah, I don't think this team can stand anything with JJ Redick in the start lineup. It's not good. I got Houston.
Jesus.
Yeah,
man. I'll say this. This is one I'm interested because I haven't gone player versus player yet in the simulator yet. So I'm gonna be watching Chris Paul versus Chris Paul. So that's gonna be a little weird to see. That's one thing. Second thing is James Harden. Hey yo. When I say James Harden's probably going to destroy JJ,
barbecue chicken.
Oh my God! And then, like I said, this is the situation where there's nothing I can do. Like you normally you would say, okay, maybe let's switch and put Brandon Ingram on that. You can't leave Tracy because Tracy they have a weak link and they don't have enough talent to cover that weak link when it comes to JJ. Although he's a solid player. You just need better people around him to cover his deficiencies, and they don't have that. There ain't gonna be too much double teaming. Moses can hang with Anthony Davis. Tyson doesn't have any kind of double team. So who provides the mismatch where as though JJ can actually get open and shoot these trays? They don't have it. So I got Houston. Houston is full.
I got Houston, but it's gonna be a hard fought matchup. I think
it's not.
There becomes a part in the series where Anthony Davis kind of exerts, his force and becomes one of the and takes advantage of the Moses matchup. I said the Moses matchup. Didn't say that. And then I think there's a part where we have young Chris Paul in his prime. It takes advantage of the older Chris Paul, the injury-prone Chris Paul, the Chris Paul that doesn't have the experience. That doesn't have the playoff.
You're selling it right now. I appreciate it.
You selling it right.
So I got Houston in 6. Houston's going to win, but it's not going to be as easy as you think. I like Houston to win in 6.
You tried to defend your little sorry team, but sorry,
that is a phenomenal team.
Once you put JJ Redick in start lineup, it was barbecue chicken. Next up, let's go to the finish up the South. Larry's Miami Heat. Tim Hardaway, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Alonzo Mourning taking on Calvin's Memphis Grizzlies.
Why Sharif is the same height as everybody else?
Of a legit lineup, damn near, that we actually saw in the league together. Of Mike Conley, Tony Allen, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, of course, wasn't on that team, but Zach Randolph and Marcus Gasol. All 4 of them were actually in the starting lineup. And as great as they were,
4 of them will get swept in that starting lineup.
They going home in the first round. And Zebo was nice. Marcus Gasol had his moments.
So
they don't stand a chance.
My one question to this when I saw this lineup is why did you go both Gasols at the same time?
That's a good choice.
I feel like Lakers Gasol is I feel like defensively I need something from Zebo more than I need from Powell because I could still get scoring from
put Zebo at the 4. I mean at the 3.
No. I would have said start both Gasols, Powell and Mark together.
And you gonna put Zebo at the 3, right?
I put Zebo on the goddamn bench and win.
Zebo wasn't playing. I don't see that. That's even worse. You gonna have Zebo guarding LeBron on the perimeter?
Nah, he ain't got nobody. I mean, let's not even waste time on this team. We got plenty more to get to.
Miami Swift. That's what I.
All right, let's go to the Midwest.
I did.
You do have one video for this, right?
One of those. Yes.
Yeah, yes, we have it here. First round, the Chicago Bulls of Derrick Rose, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Artis Gilmore. We talked about this last week against Howley, Reggie Miller, Jalen Rose, Jermaine O'Neal, and Rick Smits. We're not going to waste much time, but let's play the video from the simulator.
This thing, and I said it was going to go 7 games, and it went 7 games. The reason why, this is game 1 real quick. Jermaine O'Neal did have his way with Rodman. Just been pretty much off a swing kind of a thing. It's not nothing head up. Game 2, they got their stuff back together. Artis Gilmore, pretty much was a beast inside over Rick Smith. That's my guy though. But when this thing got the open floor, like just finding an open shooter, things of that nature. Reggie just took it to another level. You got to think this is Reggie Miller with today's mindset of shooting the open 3 with no hesitation. And Jordan and Pippen and the like they don't have the pure shooting like that. So Halliburton had his moment as well when he started to take it to another level. So I said there's something that
who was guarding Halliburton?
Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is the five. It's the point guard. Yeah. So, and which I knew he was gonna have problems with. So what I did was I tried a triangular offense. I tried that. I tried, I tried the classic Jordan, and I said it's not working. I had to go back to the old school Jordan, the 86, 87 version of Jordan. That's what I went back to.
Gave him the ball and just philosophy.
I said, y'all gotta go. Y'all got to go, strap up, play hard defense, but get up and get up and down the court. And the last two games, because like I said, the last three games, Jordan and Derrick Rose took over. And they couldn't, in the end, didn't have an answer for him. So Chicago ended up winning the series 4-3. But Jordan took over, in which he had to. He couldn't play the isolation thing because it was just Reggie was just too hot. Halliburton was just too hot, so he couldn't do the triangle offense. Jordan. So you ain't see the '93 version of Jordan. No, that wasn't going to cut. You needed Jordan with his head a little bit. Yeah, you needed that version, and he
so off, let me ask you a question. Simulator, do you have a bench?
No, I kept it 5-on-5, no subs, none of that. That just to keep it kind of because we didn't go through the benches. We didn't go through none of that.
Yeah, I was just asking. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Who you had winning this matchup, Calvin?
Chicago. I didn't think that was
Chicago. Yes, in real life, Pippen takes over and probably checks either Miller or Halliburton, and the series is over.
So we went already over this last week. Just a quick review. We had debated about this one back and forth, but the Nuggets won out on this one. Even though I thought this was tough, man. I think that Bucks. I've been thinking about it all week. To be honest.
This is the next one I'm going to do. This is the next one I'm going to do.
Yeah, I want to see that. We talked about these already. The Cavs and the Pistons, and then finally the Minnesota Timberwolves and the OKC Thunder. Yeah, interesting stuff. Let's do a quick review of the East. The Boston Celtics moving on to take on the Atlanta Hawks in the second round. They advance, and then at the bottom of that bracket, the New York Knicks are taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. That is a second round matchup. In the West, we will see the Los Angeles Lakers, who had a bye in the first round. This will be their first matchup, taking on the Portland Trail Blazers, who have a very good lineup. So that's going to be
interesting. Is that bracket messed up a little bit?
No. Remember, the Lakers go over here, and it's the winner of these two.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Trailblazers won that matchup. So it'll look better. It'll be lined up next time. Yeah. Anyway, and then in the bottom of the West bracket, the Phoenix Suns, who defeated the Clippers, will take on the Golden State Warriors in a second round matchup. So all four, that's a hell of a quarterfinals. The Midwest, let's move over to the Midwest. The Chicago Bulls will take on the Denver Nuggets in the second round. The Cleveland Cavaliers will take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. And rounding out the first round will be in the South, the San Antonio Spurs versus Shaquille O'Neal and the Orlando Magic. And the Houston Rockets taking on LeBron James and the Miami Heat. I can't wait to put these brackets together, and we'll lay it all out for you next week and take a look at everything that we got for you. And man, it's going to be a jam-packed show next week. And just talking about everything that we've seen as far as so far in these brackets, but we down to it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, the final 16. 16 teams are remaining until we get down to 1. So next week, hopefully Justin start working on his simulator starting tomorrow so we can have all these.
I got to reduce the quarters. There's a lot, man.
We'll just get down to the final 16. We don't have to go through we can do key matchups from the first round, but since we're moving on to the second round, we'll have all those simulated matchups. And Calvin, you got the game. Help that man out, man. You still got your NBA 2K?
I don't like 2K.
Me neither. I ain't played it.
I don't like 2K.
But I wish I could help you, brother. But yeah, man, this is fun. We'll do the next 4. We're gonna do 4 NFL teams every week. The way that math works out, we'll be ready right before the season, and then that final week will be our prediction show for the whole NFL season, where we will predict who's going to win MVP, each division winner, and who's going to win the Super Bowl. So it works out just perfectly. In a couple weeks, I will be traveling, but I'm going to bring all my equipment, and we'll do the show on the road. So we aren't going to miss a beat all summer long. Our fantasy football draft is coming up soon. Cal, do you have any information on that?
So apparently I gotta send a text out. They changed the date to the 23rd, which is that Sunday. I think I previously sent out the 22nd.
You did.
But that's the only update so far.
What time?
It's the same time. It's still between 2 and 7.
Okay, I think I might be able to make that.
Because I was going to ask you. So supposedly, I don't know how true this was. They hadn't let you allow you to pay it because they're trying to finish the construction first.
In what area?
Where they're building the
arena?
The outdoor bars on the side.
Oh, so that's where it's going to be at?
Well, no, it's going to be in the suites, but supposedly those suites aren't available because they're still doing construction over there. I don't know how true it was.
They are still doing. I was down there the other day, but
okay. I didn't.
They having events down there. They got a concert.
They got a concert
next weekend.
A couple weeks. Oh god.
Next weekend, 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday.
It says you can supposed to be signed up for this. The details supposed to come out tomorrow, from what I heard. So we'll know. I'll know tomorrow.
Okay. Well, keep us posted. We're ready for fantasy football season. Before we get out of here, Conor McGregor fighting UFC this weekend. He's back after 5 years off. He's taking steroid. Yeah, it's been 5 years. 2020, 2022, 2021. Yeah. Damn. I think it's about 5 years. Check my math, but he was suspended. Got out of the testing protocol. Had a couple of rape allegations against him. Yeah. He's been through a lot, man. He's been through a lot. So it's very controversial, and I'm torn on, should this man even be allowed to fight? It's just tough, man, because he had steroids in his system. He really supposed to be suspended right now, but they gave him an exception to come back for this fight. There's a lot of corruption going on.
Was that why he didn't fight the White House?
I don't know. I really don't. Maybe they didn't want the negative publicity, but I really think they said they just wanted to give him his own stage because he's worthy of his own pay-per-view. He can pull a big number all on his own, so you don't need to be on that.
You're right. Almost 5 years to the day, July 10th, 2021.
Yeah. So we'll see how that works out. We're gonna go to Jimmy's Famous Seafood on Saturday night. Watch party, watch the Conor fight, have a good time. Y'all are welcome. Come on down, buy your ticket. Jimmy's $5. But yeah, and CM Punk, new world champion, came back Monday night, defeated Sami Zayn.
That was short-lived.
Hey, you knew it was
and we didn't know who it was, but it makes sense.
It was exciting. It was cool.
Was it exciting?
It was exciting, and to give Sammy a great. Sammy got a good promo after. I wasn't mad at it.
So you're going to heal. You're probably going to heal.
You know what? And I will repeat this on
Sammy
when it comes to the Sunday show. Shout out to We Talk Combats. Listen, there was somebody that was in the building that could have got that title opportunity and made a match that's already there, that's already happening on SummerSlam, and made it a title match.
Oba?
You could have gave it to Oba. You could have gave it to Oba. Found some way that CM Punk can come out there. I'm not knocking that moment for Chicago, but that was a Chicago thing. That wasn't an internet wrestling community thing. Okay, thank you for coming back. Goddamn, you missed 3 months and you just lost in the last time we saw your ass. I don't need you to come back and win the title.
I liked it.
So you have Oba beating Brock?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, with all intents purposes, with everything including all this, all the
Guys.
future talk and all this other stuff, it has to be. It kind of has.
Olga is not winning the world title until he pins Roman Reigns. They're not going to rush. He's pinning him at WrestleMania.
But he can be the champion of another joint and let him go. There's nobody to fight on SmackDown.
So wait, would you move him SmackDown then? So you would move him SmackDown?
Huh?
No, it said if Oba won, you move him SmackDown.
Oh, keep over where you at. You got Punk, you got Cody, you got Sammy, Trick. They got enough.
Now you got a roster.
They got plenty of people on SmackDown. And it's a 2-hour show now. It's not a 3-hour show. So that helps as well. So you ain't got to book 3 hours. You only got to book 2. I think they'll be fine. And if Punk go heel, we haven't seen Punk heel in a while. I think that's going to be cool because he can say whatever he want. He can be as obnoxious as he want. Kevin Owens can come back. You can play off of the Sammy thing. You can do some stuff with this, man. I think they got something if they do it right. And I think the key is don't rush the title back on Cody. Let Gunther and Cody do their own thing off to the side. Let Punk cook for a little while. I think it'll be fine. I really do. And I think Roman gonna hold that title until
WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania.
So we get Punk Cody at SummerSlam, and Punk's gonna win.
I think so. Okay. I don't think they're gonna rush the title back on to Cody. I don't.
I agree.
I think Cody and Cody and Punk could have just fought without the title. CM Punk has a way with making epic rivalries without the title. That's
But
all.
apparently USA wanted Punk on SmackDown. It was a report that came out today. They're like, look, man, we want more star power. Everybody on Netflix, we want some star power. We're paying a lot of money. We want some more heavy hitters on SmackDown. We lost Roman. Roman used to be exclusively on SmackDown for a long time. Yeah. But yeah, so I get it. It's a business situation. But I also think what would be interesting is, and I don't want to belabor the point. I know we have the 11 o'clock hour, but I think what would be very interesting is what do they do with Javon, guys like that? You know what I mean? Like at some point,
they gotta start winning, man.
They gotta win. They gotta big wins too.
He every match of his, every big match is never 1-on-1. So it makes it easier.
He won a match in the King of the Ring.
Yeah, but I mean, like for the last 2 pay-per-views, it's always been a ladder match, a 5-man match.
Do you have him beat Penta? Is that big enough?
That's the question.
Eventually, you gotta flip the script. When I seen this graphic, like the only person that's like 20 under 30 that has a championship is the tag team with Braun and Austin.
Yeah.
What about Trick?
Trick 31.
But see, that's what this could be a whole discussion. I think people harp on age too much. It's not about how old you are. It's about how long have you been used in the spotlight. I think that is the difference. If you were brought up and you were 25 years old, when you're 40, you've been in front of us for how many years at that point? So even though you're only 40 and you might not feel like you're that old that you got to retire, you've been in the spotlight for damn near 15 years. We're tired of seeing you. So you seem older than what you really are. When we were younger, some of those guys that look older, they really weren't that old, but they look older. These guys are in premium shape, so they can still get away with. Look at Randy Orton. He looks older than me, but it's not like he looks bad. He doesn't look
TV?
like
been on TV 18 years.
But that's my point. He's been on television.
That's all well and good. I can push back and say that attitude era when it comes to the Austins and Triple H, the Rocks, and all them. It was another generation that was right underneath them that was about to push them out, and that's what they did. The Cena era, they pushed them out. Even before that, even the subgroup with Chris Benoit and the Guerrero and the boys, they pushed people out, and they didn't have 10, 15 years. And they did.
10, 15 years.
Austin was in front of us for like 6, 7 years.
It wasn't WWE. They had 10, 15 years in the business.
It's a different business now because you only have 2 companies that you're looking at for the most part when you got a AEW and a WWE. If you don't watch AEW, You only know NXT and WWE, so of course you really concentrate on it. Back in the day, Stone Cold started wrestling in 1984. He didn't make it big.
Got to WWE when he was
In
like in like 96.
That's my point.
Right.
He had
like a 6-year run. The Rock had like a 6-year run.
No,
Rock probably had like 4.
Stone Cold legitimately made it big, and he came up in 96. He made it big in 97. He was on top. He left, came back. He retired in 2002. Like
that's 6 years, right?
But that's what I'm saying. He had no choice. He didn't retire because he wanted to. His neck gave out on him. It's not like he wanted to.
You know what happens when you get plus 30, plus 35? You end up getting injuries. And that's why they rushing to Seth Rollins and Roman, because they don't know if they're going to be around at WrestleMania.
Oh, remember, Edge is done. There's a surgery now that his neck is better. He can still wrestle. That's what I'm saying. Medicine has advanced. Different things that would have ended people's career, it don't end their career no more. Bryan Danielson should have been done years ago. He came back and was healthy as ever. That's all I'm saying. Back in the day, The Rock, he sparked big, and what he do? He went to Hollywood. He never turned back. So of course his career is shorter than it could have been. But legitimately, The Rock could have been wrestling all through the 2000s had he not made it big in another profession. Triple H, he had no choice but to be wrestling. He was a wrestling guy. How long was Undertaker around? Forever. Undertaker was around forever
and ever.
Okay, but then Undertaker started to wrestle like 2 matches a year.
But that's what's happening now. How many matches does Roman legitimately wrestle a year? How many?
6, 5,
maybe, if that.
Look, Roman don't wrestle. Roman don't wrestle unless it's a pay-per-view.
How many matches does Brock legitimately wrestle a year? How many does Randy Orton legitimately wrestle? These older guys are on a short-term schedule.
They need to go.
I don't think so. You can still use guys as special attractions. Like, that is what people pay money to see. That is part of the game. No, I think you could do 2 things at once. I think you can keep guys, but remember, there are no house shows like it used to be. So yes, TV is really, and then nobody wrestles on TV. None of the big stars really wrestle. Roman don't wrestle on TV. CM Punk barely wrestle on TV. Cody might wrestle here and there on TV, so they can keep their bodies fresher because they don't get the wear and tear. You're not on the road. They used to wrestle on the road 300 nights a year back when you talking about. So yeah, you burn out in 6 years. Yeah, your body's done. But now you might wrestle a pay-per-view a month, maybe. Mm-hmm. You might wrestle on TV once a month.
So you expand your career, correct?
Yes.
And I just look, Calvin, I got him. He walked all the way down. What was the first thing you said? That these people, we seen them too much. We seen them for 10 to 15 years.
No.
We're tired of seeing them. That's what you said. That's what you said.
No,
that's what you said.
That they don't have no young people. I said I think that's a difference between someone's age and how long they've been on television.
How long they've been on television. These guys have been on television 10 to 15 years. It's time for them to go now because we done seen them. It feel like 20 to 25.
I think there's a role for some of these guys that they don't have to be the champion. I don't think Randy Orton need to be in the main event. But then I hear from you and Andrew, they need to be featured. Randy's the guy. Put the title on him. Like you talking about.
Put the title on him to get it off of Cody. There was something else to that.
Randy's been back long enough to the point where he should have had a title at this point.
Randy could have came back and won a match against Cody, and then had somebody take it off of him shortly after that.
But Randy's gone because his back gave out on him again.
That still could have he could have gave up the belt. He still has a title. He still collects another notch on his belt. Cody could have got it back the next night because he forfeited. But they let Cody win, as they always do.
But I'm saying, I think you don't give up. This is the problem, especially when you're in a wrestling war. If you just start getting rid of all these veterans with name value who have significance, they're going to go to the other company and they're going to use those names to whoop your ass. We've seen this happen before. If you know your history, that's what happened with WCW and WWE. That happened on both sides back in the 80s. That's how Vince
Hogan was still in his prime when he went to WCW.
How old was Hogan when he went to WCW?
34.
No, he was not 34.
Older than that. He was pushing 40.
He was in his 40s. Exactly. And he's washed. He's bald headed. They was booing him. He went to WCW. He was the biggest goddamn star in the business again. That's my point.
Look, 30 years. What?
30 years ago today. Yesterday.
Well, 30 years ago of yesterday, but what 26 years ago was the Jeff Jarrett lay down today?
Oh wow, yeah.
I think what was that? Was it 2000 or 90?
Yeah, it was 2000.
Yeah.
Bash at the Beach. But I'm saying you don't, especially when you're in a wrestling war. Okay, John Cena. How old is John Cena right now? John Cena just
48,
and John Cena is 90 years old.
48. Yeah.
He's not even 50 years old, but
and he walks terrible.
He's old. He's been on our screen for years. Yeah. He's been on our screen for years. But legitimately, the age if you start early, you start, the longer someone's going to be in front of you, and you think, oh, they need to go. Okay, you do that at your own risk when you're in a wrestling war. That's exactly what happened with Vince McMahon in the 80s. He started taking all those guys from those territories. That's how he built up WWF.
Yeah,
Terry, Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff, Harley Race, Terry Funk. He got all the best older veteran guys from all the lower territories that they old. Yeah. Put them in there. You put Hulk Hogan with him. Andre the Giant was old, could barely move. Andre can't do much. You put him against Hogan, biggest match you ever seen. You need to know how to utilize your veterans. That's the key. It's not about, okay, we know we got older guys, but utilize that name value to get over some of the younger guys. The only way to do that is to build up the older guys and then have the young guys be the one to topple them. That's why you use an Oba to beat a Brock.
They already built up. That's why they old. Their names are the names. You tell me why Ethan Page is losing to Rey Mysterio right now. Can you tell me why?
Yeah,
you don't have an answer for that. That's why.
No, but I don't think Ethan Page is the type of wrestler who has to win every match. I think he can still get himself. Oh, he's a heel. You know what I mean? I don't think you beat a babyface.
He'll still got to win in order to be like.
I think you can get your heat back.
They can still beat your main guy.
You can get your heat back, and Rey Mysterio still has value to the younger audience because he wears a mask. He doesn't look old. He wrestles a high style, and his biggest storyline is with Penta or somebody coming or Dominate or something down the road. Ethan is not the end all be all. He's a cog in the engine. He's not the engine. That's the difference. You got role players and you got key players. We know that. Ethan Page is a role player. He ain't no main event guy. He will never be a main event guy.
You got your A guys and your B guys. The problem is they letting their B guys take too many L's along the way. Man, most importantly, Braun Breaker is one of those B guys. He's taking too many L's.
Braun Breaker should be an A guy.
Breaker should be A, yeah.
He should be
if you want to call him an A guy, that's fine. I'm not knocking that. Either way, he shouldn't be losing, and now he's in the tag division. What are we doing with him?
Lost to an A guy.
He's in the tag division because Logan Paul got hurt.
Seth Rollins is the B guy that masquerades as the A guy,
and that's why they dropped. That's why they dropped the titles.
Stop it! Seth Rollins is not a B guy.
Seth Rollins is he's Macho Man to Hogan as he is to Roman.
And Macho Man
was a B guy.
He was an A guy all the way.
He was a B guy.
No.
You're being disrespectful.
I'm not being disrespectful. There was tears. There were tears.
So.
And there are slots in the tears.
The A guy, that's the Hogans, the Romans, the Cenas, the Austins. That's why they're
you don't jump from A to B. A has multiple people in the tier. There are A guys.
Like four.
Cody,
maybe
Randy. I mean, Cody, Roman, Seth.
Cody is a B guy at best.
And Oberfemi's getting up into that A guy.
And that's the problem, that you got B guys masquerading as an A guy. Cody is never an A guy.
He's been an A guy.
If you combine Cody plus what Dusty can do in the ring, plus the charisma of Dusty, he'd still be a B guy.
You see, you're a hater. Cody proved when he came over from AEW and drew that house at WrestleMania and sold out all the arenas on top, he's an A guy.
That was because of Roman.
Roman wasn't there. That's the point. Roman was gone. Remember, after Roman lost the title, he disappeared. Cody carried that company for a year. Now, I also will say Drew McIntyre.
Because of AJ Styles and Kevin Owens and the people.
Drew McIntyre needs to come back, and they need to do something with him. He's
making too many movies right now.
A B guy that potentially could have been an A guy But he had a hell of a storyline with Seth and CM Punk that I think you could pick that back up as well.
I do miss Drew though, Paul. I miss Drew.
Yeah, Drew's good. Sheamus is gone. That's the news of the week.
Well,
Sheamus is not resigning. He going to AEW. So
why?
But again,
if you making this much money, either you take half or you can see your ass out the goddamn door. And what they did,
it's a threshold for all these LA Knights and all those type of guys. You only going up so high. You know, they was overpaying y'all to begin with. That's the thing a lot of people remember. Gotta remember, they paid you on the guys to try to keep you from going to AEW. Once they determined that, hey, we ain't worried about AEW no more on certain guys, you're not gonna let Roman walk, but Sheamus, go ahead, help yourself. But they not doing house shows no more. They not doing all those things that make them more profitable. You know what I mean? These guys used to be on the road on running shows 5 nights a week.
Yeah, it sure was. It was a better product too.
I agree.
Because they had time to practice. What you saw at pay-per-view was practice on the house shows.
But you know, it's a catch-22 with that. That you had your drug problems, you had your alcohol problems, you had your painkiller problems because they were trying to recover very quickly. Yeah. It's a lot to that. It's a lot to that. So anyway, let's get out of here. Who didn't?
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart was a steroid user and an alcoholic. Ask him.
There's no evidence of that.
He told you himself. He admitted it in his book.
Anyway. I didn't see it. I didn't
read it.
I read his book. I didn't see that passage.
Yo, he used steroids. You had to make it in WWE. You had to use steroids. He admitted
it. Somebody told him to say it.
And he was a woman abuser. Sunny days, baby. But
hey man, she was feeling the crew.
Yeah. All right, folks. We'll get y'all a little overtime on Wrestling Night, but we appreciate you. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll continue everything we got going on. For Calvin, Justin, I'm Larry. We'll see you next week for another edition. Get off the damn fence. Have a good night.